So South Koreans does look down on us like a second citizens, that we are like not a full human for them.
Did a South Korean man want to date you, take you for coffee, or?
Yeah, South Korean men actually like North Korean women, in because North Korean women are traditional. The South Korean women don't want to have kids. They don't want to even get married. But North Korean women still think having children and having family is important. So actually, women have much better time in South Korea because South Korean men, they're conservative men, well, North Korean women, but then North Korean men are too rough for South Korean women. And North Korean women also want the South Korean man who is very gentle and nice.
And makes a living.
Yeah, so it's, as a North Korean man in South Korea, very hard to find a partner. It's really hard for them.
How many North Koreans have made it to South Korea?
South Koreans are a lot, over 30,000. Yeah.
Well, it's a lot and not a lot.
Yeah, it's 75 years.
Yeah, exactly, in 75 years.
Yeah.
So you are now how old? What, about 17?
I am 27.
No. At this
By
point,
then
in this story.
I was still 15 or 16. South Korean age was 17.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah,
so right. So you're 17, alone. Did you make any friends?
I tried. And then as soon as they found out that I was North Korean, they literally called me in the middle of the night. Like, why are you a spy? Why are you friends with me? So the discrimination was impossible.
Really?
Yeah. So
what about a man friend?
I mean, they were fine.
Was that possible?
They were fine, but by then I was so traumatized by men in China.
I would think so.
I would never like date anybody. I would not like have any romantic.
I'm surprised that didn't remain a permanent part of your life. Thank God it didn't.
Exactly. It took some time. I wouldn't say that it took one day, but I think it took but remembering my father was a man who was my hero. Like, he was the most selfless person I've ever met. I think when you're in the safe place, you can have perspective, right? And you don't have to think for your survivor. So when I was being in America, being safe, and thinking about all the good men that I met in my journey, that really helped.
Okay, so how did you get from South Korea to America?
So I had a speech that I gave in Ireland, Dublin, where it's an international conference. I gave my first speech there.
Why did they invite you?
So this is called the One Young World Conference. They bring all the world young leaders from all around the world. And they asked North Korea to send their delegation because it's like your youth Olympic for the youth leaders. And North Korea says we can only send 3. It's like why? Because they have to spy on each other. So if it's 3 of us here, I spy on you. You spy on Megan, Megan spies on me. So if I'm being so nice, I'm not gonna report on you, but I know that I'm being watched by her. But then you're also watching her. So we are being spied, you're spying. So they say, at least you gotta send 3 to spy on each other. So they said, okay, then why don't we sponsor 2 people and you sponsor 1 person to come to this conference that world joining? And they said no. And that's like, okay, then we are gonna find the North Korean defectors. And that's how they found me. Because North Korea.
Were you officially a North Korean delegate?
There I was. So I was in
Were you?
Yeah.
North Korea would not accept you.
No. So I was not representing North Korean the regime.
You weren't, but you were a North Korean young person
yes.
there.
Yeah.
So you gave a speech in Ireland.
Yeah.
And?
In
what language?
In English.
Where did you learn English?
I taught myself.
Well, your English is superb. You taught yourself in South Korea? Mm-hmm. You're an exceptional human being.
Oh, thank you.
No. It's not even a compliment. It's just a fact. So you gave the speech in Ireland, and then what?
That was viewed by like almost 1 billion people. That broke the internet. So that's when the Penguin Random House called me. It's like, we're calling from Penguin Random House. Like, why is it called penguin, like the bird calling me, right? I have no idea what Penguin Random House is. And they want to write a book. So my publisher was in New York and agent was in New York. That brought me to America to write a book.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
From North Korea to America.
Yeah. I was 21 by then, so.
And then you stayed.
And then I joined the Columbia University, so that's how I stayed even longer.
Which brings us to the very, very serious topic of what you were studying at Columbia.
Yeah.
So you enrolled in Columbia University, and I should let you say it, but I'll just let you comment on it. Is it fair to say that, to your shock, you spent the next few years hearing how bad America is?
Yeah, not only that, they are the source of every problem that humanity got. The only way for us to be better and get rid of our problem is getting rid of America. Not just bad, that they are teaching us that only way we can move forward from all our problems like systemic oppression, racism, and those xenophobia, homophobia, all of that is because of white men and American imperialism. Only way to solve that is tearing down U.S. Constitution, get rid of this country, tearing down this country. So that was every single class in the 4 years I learned at Columbia.
For that alone, it was really significant to have you on this fireside chat. I return to the word shock.
Mm-hmm.
You know evil. You know the good America has done.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come to an American university to hear that America is evil.
Yeah.
So you must have thought, this is another planet.
Yeah.
Planet A, North Korea. Planet B, South Korea. Planet C, America.
Yeah.
Or at least an American university.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever speak up in class? And I'm not saying you should have, but
I
did
have
you
tried many times.
and say, I don't know what you're talking about. You people don't know what you're talking about.
So, for instance, like my professor said, do you know, like when man holding a door for you, what does that mean to you? It's like, oh, decency, being a gentleman. Like, no, this is where you need to be woke about. You need to look at the hidden oppression by the men, that by the holding a door for women, they are overpowering you. They're showing off their power. And this is masculinity, toxic masculinity.
What subject was the class?
This is also about social study, one of the core requirements that we take about the global
And this
core.
was a man who said this?
It's a woman.
Uh-huh.
But this is
Thought
another.
so.
But this is another man class. I'm gonna give you an example. He was actually a Jewish professor about Western civilization music. We all have to take that art and music, right? And then before the even class, he says, so who has a problem calling this course Western civilization music? And everybody raised their hands like, I did not. And then there's like, do you know, because of these bigots, that white men silenced so many women and the people of color, that now we have to study this unbelievable Mozart and Beethoven, this like a white supremacist. And it's unbelievable Columbia is requiring this class as a mandatory core for you guys to study. I cannot believe this word. And this is a professor who's Jewish, by the way. So nothing against him, but the thing is...
I have a lot against
yeah,
him.
so
I'm Jewish and I'm embarrassed.
So I hold her hand and I asked him, like, so, after all, we are in the West. And in Korea, we learn Korean musicians, American musicians. So we are trying to be open-minded and global-minded. What's wrong with studying Western artists that had a lot of influence in our like course of music in the history? It's like, no, that's because you're brainwashed. And every single time I speak up, they say I'm brainwashed. And that's like, okay.
By the way, for the record, Korea, South Korea, is one of the biggest cultural centers for classical music.
Yeah.
The Seoul Symphony Orchestra is one of the great orchestras of the world. And they're playing Beethoven.
Exactly.
And not because Koreans believe in white supremacy.
No.
They believe in the supremacy of excellence.
Absolutely. I mean, I never thought, studying Beethoven, listening to Mozart was a sign of white supremacy. I just never thought that was it.
You have to go to Columbia, where I went. It's gotten worse, but it was the same nonsense. It's worse than nonsense. The same horrible, destructive ideas. And most of your fellow students agreed, right? They
Not
bought
most,
this.
all of them.
All of them.
All of them raised their hand, except other than me.
Other than you.
And then like, in my orientation, before going to classes, it's like, so who loves to read Jane Austen? It's like me.